and I'm sure we all are looking forward to meet in Athens in 6 months period from now. But in order to have a successful Congress in Athens, we need to work hard in the committees, and I want to remind you the topics on which the committees will be working during the spring sessions. The introduction of new technologies in modern construction and architecture in the BISEC member states. This is the one topic for consideration of the committee. The second, role of local authorities in strengthening regional cooperation between the BISEC member states. Very important topic to consider on the committee meeting. And the third topic, youth unemployment and employment policies in the BISEC region, the need to empower the young generation. Also, very important, very pressing topic for all the member countries. And I'm sure after productive work in the committees, we'll be able to discuss these issues during the Congress in Athens. Distinguished participants, in conformity with Article 4.2 of the Rules and Procedures, Greece assumes the 6-month term presidency of our Parliamentary Assembly. This is a great privilege for us, for Georgia, to hand over this important job, this important responsibility to our colleagues. And to conclude this process, I want to hand over the symbol of the PAPSEC presidency, the gavel, to our dear Greek friends. So it works.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President, and it will work again in Athens.
Hello. Well, dear colleagues, dear participants of the Congress, with this ceremony we are about to conclude the work of our Congress. And before I do that, let me express in few words our gratitude to all of you who accepted our invitation and came to Georgia in this very, very busy period in all the parliaments of the member states. And it was expressed several times that we all, while being here, we are thinking, looking back to our home countries, because end of the year, end of the autumn session in all the parliaments are so important. And it increases the value of your presence here and your decision to spend this couple of days in Georgia. I want to thank Mr. David Saganelidze, my colleague from Georgian Parliament, who, in the capacity of the Vice President of the PAPSEC, was very active in the work of the PAPSEC during these 6 months, and he did all the necessary efforts to make this Congress successful. I want to thank to the International Secretariat for its great work for organizing this event, and special thanks to Secretary General for his great work, which was demonstrated by the decision of the delegations of the member states not even to think about the new Secretary General. And he is the only candidate nominated for this job for the next term. And it speaks by itself, this fact. I want to thank the participants of the committee meetings, which were held during these months, and their hard work and their contribution paved the way to successful Congress during these days here in Tbilisi. Well, during these days, we had opportunity to talk from the panel, during the breaks, during other events, and I believe we are leaving this Congress with even firmer belief that the organization must continue, must improve, and the Parliamentary Assembly, this component of the infrastructure of the Black Sea cooperation, must be strengthened. And we are pleased to see that there is anonymous decision, approach, that the Secretariat and the PAPSEC itself can do more, and for that necessary decisions needs to be made by appropriate member states. And Georgia will, among them, and Georgian delegation of the Georgian Parliament will continue our work with our relevant ministers and with our government to make necessary decisions in order to improve the role of the organization in this system. These days once again demonstrated that despite many differences between many member states of this organization, we are able to work and we are able to cooperate because this is our duty. And members of the parliament, delegations of the national parliaments are much better positioned to address these issues than our ministers sometimes. And we all understand that. Therefore, it is so important to continue in this format, to have much more open, much more candid discussions than it is possible on some other levels in interstate relationship. And we need to underline that and we need to explain that to everybody if there are still questions about that. I hope also that you had at least some time to enjoy your stay here in Tbilisi in Georgia. We Georgians cannot live without guests because we are very happy when we have guests in our city, in our family, in our country. We believe we have something to show to you, something to share with you. Is that history, is that culture, is that our current today life? We want to share that. And with that we demonstrate once again that we are open. We are open country, we are open nation. We want to build bridges, we want to build roads, we want to build pipelines, we want to open borders and not the vice versa. Therefore, this will be priority of this government and I believe the next government, and this is who we are, and we are offering very open friendship with, and respecting each other's strategic interests, each other's national interests, but I do not think that there is such thing on the earth that closed country, closed borders, closed roads are in the interest of any nation, any country, any state. And if there are some temporary issues, temporary problems, we are motivated to solve them and to open them and not vice versa. In these days, in these weeks, in Georgia, main political event was Vilnius summit. And we were waiting for that event for many years. We understand what are the difficulties on that road, but this is the choice of Georgian people and we will follow that. At the same time, as it was stated by my colleague from Moldova, the European integration does not mean any change in our policy with the countries in the region and outside of the region who have different choice or different strategy, different situation. We want to cooperate with everybody. We want to continue friendship with everybody. But at the same time, we are letting this know to everybody, to our friends, that Europe is our destination, Europe is our choice, and we will follow this way until the very end. And I believe PAPSEC, Black Sea Cooperation Organization, and this system is one of the format, one of the demonstration of our will and of our future. Thank you again, everybody. I want to thank to the staff who worked here during these days, our interpreters, who usually, as usual, have the most difficult job to understand what we're talking about, and to everybody who contributed this successful Congress.